up, it was very traditional, old-fashioned. Family was very tight, raised by my grandma. And we have a big family. There's 9 of us. I'm the second oldest, and I'm the oldest girl. So, yeah, pretty much I had a good childhood. It was there that I got introduced to gangs. So I was rolling with Main Street Mafia Crips and experimenting with alcohol, weed, and some speed. It wasn't long. I was skipping school, not paying attention to my brothers and sisters, running away, stealing, drinking, carjacking, all of that. And it was just terrible. I made really poor life choices. I was pregnant with my daughter, and it was 1994 that I first was introduced to crystal methamphetamine, also known as ice. I was a babysitter for one of so-called sources, and they couldn't pay me any more cash, so they started paying me with dope. Not long after, I became immediately addicted. My life spun out of control. It was unmanageable. I got involved in criminal activity, surrounded myself with lots of felons. I was a recidivist. I was in the system for about, I want to say 16 and a half years. It was so terrible that I was under the Superior Court, parole, and federal probation. And it was a reputation that I wasn't proud of. I hooked up with a known source, and he kept feeding my addiction. And it was then, after I stopped breastfeeding my daughter, that I decided, okay, I just want to enjoy myself some more, give myself time from school and stuff like that. And my girl's in a good place, she's in good hands with my mom. And so I just ran off with this guy and fed my addiction. We lived in hotels, condos, people's houses that I never even knew. And I thought, like I'm really on top of the world, not knowing that my actions and my addiction would get the best of me. And I always thought that in my addiction that I wasn't hurting nobody. I did whatever I can to get high, stay high, and continue to be high. One day, sitting in a jail cell, just sick and tired of being sick and tired, just knowing I had a desire, but not knowing how and what resources were afforded to me. So I broke down, I got on my knees, and I said, God, if you're real, and you raised the dead, and you parted the sea, and you spoke the world into existence, then can you fix me? And that gift of desperation brought me to surrender. I finished 6 months residential treatment. Some of my internal issues were addressed. We did stuff like making peace with your past, art therapy, daily devotions, meditation and prayer, and we just fellowship. We did a lot of sober activities, which was really nice. I had the most amazing pastors and teachers, Pastor Rob Zimmerman and Pastor Allison Zimmerman, also Miss Monica Carrigosen. They're really a big influence in my recovery. My desire was to have a home, women with dependent children, because at the time I was single. So I qualified for what was called the Empower Together program. And it was for women with dependent children with addiction. So right after completion of my treatment, I was placed in that housing, and it was pretty cool. So I was able to live with my daughter. I was working with Oasis as a weekend house mom, and my daughter was going to school and working at the same time, and she got pregnant. During her pregnancy, we had a fallout. We had some disagreements. An old using buddy of mine was checking in for residential treatment also, and she was really scared because she was in possession of meth, and all she could think was to pass it to me, and that was my downfall. Found myself yet again under parole, incarcerated for another stretch. At this point, I burned all the bridges with my family, my mom, my daughter, my brothers and sisters. After I found out my late husband passed, it was in 2007, and I promised myself, because I'm an intravenous user, that I would quit shooting up, and that I would try again to get back on track, you know, fix my life, eliminate the chaos, and just have some kind of manageability. So when I got released, again, I put myself in residential treatment. Today, the relationship with my daughter is fully restored. We have such a great relationship. We have open and honest communication. She's like, Mom, now that you're in good hands and I see that you're bettering yourself and you know, you have a career path, I'm gonna go ahead and follow my dreams, you know, and marriage is part of it. So I was like, okay. It was tough because I only have one child, you know, and I have two beautiful grandsons, but today they'll never get to know the monster grandma, you know, and that's the glory of recovery. I'm grateful, so grateful that God would love me so much to transform me from the inside out. And if there's anything I can share with the community, is that they're never alone. Anyone struggling with addiction, I understand it's really tough. But just as much as the struggle is real, so is recovery.